Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel a chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. Cause the love you give, it can't be replaced. See, no one else, let me like you do. That's why I don't mind to spend my life with you. I wanna please you any way I can. I wanna share my world, don't you understand? Your love is
All right, celebrating Aaliyah. What's today? Today's
the 25th anniversary of the release of this song, and sadly, it's the anniversary of her death as well. Shout out to Aaliyah, that was my girl coming up.
Shout out to Aaliyah, man. We gotta celebrate the great ones at all times. Can't let them rest. Keep them alive. We keep them alive through us. So we're gonna get started on today's show. Welcome to What's Wacky to Us.
Well, we're gonna be talking some shit today about New York City life in Southside Jamaica, Queens, aka Raising Kanaan by 50 Cent. You know, if you don't know, both Rick and I have long time roots in Southside Jamaica, Queens. He was raised there. My grandparents lived on Foch Boulevard for more than 50 years. And I spent many, many, many years on Foch Boulevard in Southside Jamaica, Queens. So Southside, we give you a huge shout out. We give Southside a shout out on Sufton Boulevard. We give a shout out to Jamaica Ave. We give a shout out to those the fake enemies of Hollis. And we going all out. Shout out to Jackson, Springfield, August Martin. Hillside.
You gotta go to elementary schools too. You got IS8 was like one of the greatest elementary schools in Southside.
PS 123.
You got she going PS IS8. You got IS 72.
Shout out to Rochdale and New York Boulevard.
You got what was that other school? That is another junior high school on. Shima.
Oh, shout out to Shima.
Shima was bad as hell, man.
Shout out to Ajax Park.
That's Ajax Park, all the park jams, everything used to go on there.
Oh, shout out to the Baisley Park Jam, some of the best times of our lives.
You know, so we gotta get a horn for that. Yeah, Southside. But all right, on to this Raising Kanaan. So we've been watching Raising Kanaan, and I just have a few issues with Raising Kanaan myself. Personally, I have a few issues with Raising Kanaan. How your boy 50 always trying, I don't know, everything he does, he's trying to portray like his mom's was like moving and shaking in Southside. And everybody, I know a lot of you love 50 in Southside, especially you Rochdale motherfuckers or whatever. You know, Rochdale. But, you know.
Uppity Negroes from Rochdale.
They not uppity. That shit is like nothing but a project, honestly. Niggas was running wild in Rochdale.
I know their cousins from Rochdale.
Rochdale's a overpriced project. Get that. He's running wicked in there.
Man, they had some beautiful apartments in Rochdale.
They do, and they had some beautiful drugs right downstairs on the benches.
No lies detected.
Yo, so you know, but yeah, 50 always trying to act like his mom's was moving and shaking, and we just be giving him a pass with all this. And I don't know, no chick that was in that era, because I grew up in that same era. I don't know, no chick that was getting paper and was like, I don't know, he always try to portray like the other guy that his mother going against is like Preem from Preem Team. And ain't no
his
Preem.
Moms was out here like Griselda.
Yeah, like ain't no chick was in Queens up in Preem face talking crap and Prince face talking crap. You know, that's just the hard truth of it all. And then this show. Let's talk about the show. That's the backstory of like, for all y'all, you might be from Kentucky listening to us, Tennessee, and y'all be like, oh man, 50 is this, 50 that. You know, everything he says is the truth. So it's a lot of lies going on in Raising Kanaan on how they portraying the South Side and everything. It's a lot of lies, man. A lot of lies. And
we gonna break it down.
But You know, like I already broke down. Part of it is like, wasn't no female on South Jamaica from New York Boulevard, Foch, Baisley, you know, Queensbridge, you know, wherever, all over Queens, Springfield, Liberty, that was like running, moving and shaking like that. I ain't buying it. I was there. I was in the midst. I ain't buying it. Y'all can buy it. And it just irks me when I watch this show and how he act like, you know, he was coming up in this world of all this stuff going on with his mom, and he just was like, "Mom, put me down," and she put him down.
And can we just discuss that? Because first of all, Kanaan, if you was growing up in the 90s and the late 80s and the early 90s, and you was a black child in Southside, you are not telling your mother, put me on, and you not getting slapped upside your head. First of all, this little Negro is so disrespectful, and I don't care who you were in them days, that shit was not tolerated. The way he talks to his mother, the way he behaves, he don't never fix his face. He be acting a goddamn fool. I don't know no black child, and as the mother of 3 sons myself, I don't know no black child that could get away with acting the way that Kanaan did, especially in them days. Now today, where everything flies and everybody's like, oh, let your kids be and let everybody be who they want to be. Yeah, maybe that shit might fly today. But a good 30 years ago, nah, son, that shit wasn't happening. And like he said, we was there. We grew up in that era. We was on Sufton Boulevard. I have plenty of cousins from 40 Projects, Rochdale, Baisley, the whole 9. Nobody was acting like this. No one. And if you actually believe that some broad was basically telling Preem and Prince that this is how it was going and she lived to tell the story, you out your damn mind, because that also wasn't going down like that neither.
Exactly, because honestly, I know women have their rights today, but back then it was a man's world in Southside Jamaica, Queens.
Especially in the world of hustling.
Exactly, but you know, don't get me wrong, there's a few women that broke the mold and was getting money like uptown or whatever, but around what he's talking about, I never heard of them. They didn't really exist. And don't
get us wrong. We know this is a fictional show. We get it. But it's just, come on. The show doesn't even use the slang from the 80s and 90s. They're using today's slang. And I get it. They probably want to do that so y'all, who weren't around in that era can get a grasp of what they're trying to say or whatever. But if, 50 constantly exploits the hood in every single project that he does. So if you want to do that, keep it 100. Keep it 100. He does.
All 50 Cent make all his money off of, his whole thing is he just sells BS to the hood. And it's a market for it because a lot of guys, they love it. They love the BS. They like to feel like, oh, I relate to this guy, but you don't, because 50 will sell you weed and he doesn't smoke. He's selling you liquor and he doesn't drink. He'll sell you the club and he doesn't even hang out like that. 50 to me, he'd be scared. Like, he's scared to do anything, and he's protecting his wealth, which rightfully so is his right, and it's kind of smart. And he is smart. He's a smart businessman. He know what to sell. Like Nexus, you got everything's gel, everything's the hood story. You got Raising King, you had Power. Now we got the BMF coming out. You got BMF coming out and all this stuff. Like, then you had the only thing that was semi-uplifting was the television show For Life. But it's still gel, and how the dude overturned the system. He did time, and then became a lawyer and all that. It's a good story. But is this the box this guy going to stay in? Like, is 50 going to stay in this one little box of just like everything that was so-called bad in the hood? He resell it to us, and we get nostalgia and keep watching. And with weak storylines and everything, the storylines we already know, and these storylines be weak. Like Raising Kanaan storylines are so weak, man. It's like she just be punking the brothers. She always got this snarl on her face, punking the brothers like, oh, you stupid, and this, that, and the third. Don't get me wrong, like, if you're a sibling, you can talk to your brothers like that. But, most of the time, And the brothers, she puts in no work. The brothers put in all the work. She's just calling the shots, and they just letting her call all the shots and just run amok. Like she's just running everything, and like, you go do that, you go do this.
And
like,
your brothers just go along with whatever
like,
you
okay.
say. Like that's how siblings do. These are supposed to be these hard, you know, these hard, tough guys. And everything that everything that Patina says goes. Everything rock. It's just rock, rock, rock. And I get it. That's what they're trying to do. And I get it. This is 50's story. He's trying to, make his mother be that supreme gangstress and all that. But again, and the pot meat kettle, because yes, we watch Power, Raising Kanaan. We probably gonna watch BMF, and I'm gonna watch Power Book 4 because Tommy Egan is my dude. All that. I'm gonna do all of it. But the fact doesn't change that 50 Cent puts out everything that is exploitative about the hood. It always is about hustling, killing, jailing. I mean, Power started off fantastic, and then it just went all the way left with unrealistic shit. And
they be catching some, like the kill game is so easy in 50 movies. Like people just catching body after body without getting caught, and no real heat. It ain't even no real heat. Even though it's like, it's never no real heat. Like, nobody's only like, oh, I know he's doing. Man, if you was in the hood and you was catching bodies like that, your homicide would be all over your ass. You would be brought in so many times, and they'll find a way to stick something to you. If they like, we know you're catching bodies. You're getting caught. You're doing 25 years. You ain't going to have a long run. So, I don't know. It's like unrealistic to me. And, it's started getting stupid.
Unrealistic.
They killed that young boy. Then you got what was the part we was watching with Jukebox when she get caught kissing the white girl, and the mother was like, "Get out of my house!" She screams at her. The Jukebox, she goes outside and act like the world is spinning, like she about to pass out. Like she's like it's like that Spike Lee scene when you know how you move the camera and everything be spinning and moving.
Spiraling out of
yeah, she
control.
looking like she's in shock because she got caught and screamed on by the parent. Like, what you in shock for? You was on top of this woman's daughter making out, and you got caught.
A white woman's daughter, and you got caught. How many times has this happened to any parent, gay or not? You run in on your kids doing some bullshit, and of course you're going to be like, yo, I myself have been there. I've had to kick people out my house because I caught them in acting a fool. So, again, this was the 80s, the late 80s and the early 90s where, okay, I will say, I grew up also in the Lower East Side in Harlem and all that also, where the gay stuff was pretty out in the open, especially if you lived in the Lower East Side. But the way they made it seem like this was like the end of the world for Juke, and perhaps it was. Maybe it was. I don't know. I've never been in that position, but I know that for most kids, they'd be like, damn, got caught, got busted, and yada yada. Maybe it is different for a gay teen. I don't know. All I do know is that me coming up, I don't know, it was just, this whole thing is just so fake and so not on point, and I get it.
Can we give multiple shots to Raising Kanaan?
Yep.
Multiple shots to Raising Kanaan.
We firing shots for the unrealisticness, the lies, and I get it. It's for the people who not in New York who think that that's how it was. Well, we here to tell you it wasn't like that at all.
It wasn't like that. So we ain't gonna keep harping on this trash show, and
it's boring.
It's
and
boring.
It moves slow.
They give you like one highlight, and it's always got to be some the action is like somebody gets killed. Give me some different kind of action, man. Come on, man. Give me a good storyline. Don't just the storyline is boring. Let's kill someone. Oh, somebody killed. That's the action. Let's crash a car or something. So yeah,
they're gonna cut off Raising Kanaan for 6 weeks, so they make sure you
need to leave it off
in your subscription.
They need to leave it off.
Leave it off, because
I don't even know if I'm gonna rewatch it. I'm not even gonna. I be watching old Power joints because at least the Power, the storyline was good
and it kept you hooked, and it wasn't boring.
I wonder if the same person is right. Is the same person writing this? I don't think so.
You can tell it's not the same person because it's mad slow. Yeah. Power had them characters that you was invested in. You was invested in what was going to happen to Dre. You was invested in what was going to happen to Ghost next. You wanted to kill Tariq. You know, it was like you were invested in power. Raising Kanan is like the lazy